were almost dead. All that debt, all those workers wanting to work, no one to make Lovesacs for, no other customers. That was a lesson I learned almost extremely painfully. That was nearly the death of Lovesac. We were just a week or two away from being completely done when, through our scrambling efforts, we came up with the big idea of opening Lovesac stores, which at the time, by the way, sounded really stupid, and everyone thought we were a bunch of idiots. This will never work. It'll cost way too much. Retail's too hard. And what are you trying to sell again? It worked. Five hours on a plane, starting at midnight, almost every Sunday night, Monday morning, flying from Vegas near my home in southern Utah to New York City, landing at 7 a.m. this morning, as happens quite often these days. Early morning meeting in downtown New York City. So gotta chill out in a Starbucks for a couple hours, kill some time before my 10, 11 a.m. meeting. We're redesigning the future of Lovesac. 2 years ago, we worked with Profit, a New York City-based design firm, to help us redesign the Lovesac store experience. Now we are redesigning our redesign, which brings me to one of my favorite Shawnisms that I don't speak about very often. You got to keep one hand on the now and one hand on the next.
Do a spin there.
Hang on. Yeah.
This is my kind of meeting. Now I've already had a meeting and I'm done. On my way back to Lovesac headquarters up in Stamford, Connecticut, hop a subway, get the move on. I'm going to tell you about one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in business, and it's led me to a Shawnism that I don't talk a lot about, but I learned in a painful way. You got to keep one hand on the now and one hand on the next. Because I didn't have one hand on the now and one hand on the next. All I had was both hands on tiny blue Lovesacs for the Limited Corporation, desperately trying to get this order done that I had taken months before, and that if I didn't complete, they were gonna crush me. I was desperate to get this deal done. 9/11 happened while we were in the factory. We lost money on the order, barely kind of broke even. Now I'm 24 years old. I have $55,000 in crushing credit card debt, having built a factory, and I had no customers. I wasn't thinking ahead. I was in the factory trying to complete that big order. Got it done, thankfully. That's what kind of put us in business. You know, got us at least a factory, but I didn't have one hand on the next. All I had was both hands on the now. I paid the price. I scrambled, went to furniture stores, they laughed at us. Went to the malls to open our own store, they laughed at us. You know, I had no other way to pay my bills. One of the malls called us back and said, you know what? We'll let you in for 2 months on a temporary basis, and we'll kick you out and get a real tenant, a real retailer. And we maxed out our credit cards, maxed out my cousin's credit cards this time. Carpet, paint, neon sign, first Lovesac store in November 17th of 2001. And that was the birth of Lovesac Retail. And now I get the luxury of reinventing it again with one of New York's top design firms who helped us just 2 years ago. We're only a dozen stores into this new concept out of 63 stores. And we're already working on the redesign, because finally I've got one hand on the now and one hand firmly reaching out into the next. You gotta get a move on, man. Yeah. All right, brother, good to see you. Oh yeah. What is happening here? What is happening here?